UNICEF believe that there are over 2.8 million children out of school in the country. And with this figure, why do you think education is important in our context?
Education is very important because it makes us critical thinkers. And when you're a critical thinker, you're able to come with a solution to a problem. For instance, imagine 89% of South Sudan's population are all literate. They can write, they can read, they're well informed, they're educated. I'm sure there will be less rates of crimes, insecurities, economic instability. So education is very important in the way that it helps us think deep and deeper, make accurate decisions for the problems we have. And education is very important because we get to wear the face of confidence. I believe you only talk on a matter very well when you are alert about it or when you know much about it. So when you're educated, you become confident in a society. You step out knowing what you know or what you want to do because you're informed, you have the knowledge. I always quote it to my fellow friends, or when we are having gatherings, or when we are going for mentorship programs to young ones like us, that we only do well in an area that we know much about. So if you're educated in a specific topic or educated about something, you'll be so confident. And I believe confidence is so important in the 21st century. Education is really, really important.
Luala.
Education is really very important because it is a key to unlock your potential, because it equips you with knowledge and skills for the future. Because without education, you cannot be a teacher. Without education, you cannot be a pilot. Education is really very important for us as children. We need to get back to school because education is really fundamental in our life. Education is a gift that cannot be taken away.
Lola, how old are you?
I'm 17 years.
17 years?
Yeah.
أنا ذكرت تراس الرسالة ليال الفهم مرتكز على من قاسم لنا في زمن تاسد بعربي ما بإنجليزي.
أوكي.
لأنه إذا كان قاسمة في مشاكل كتير قال لنا في مختلف أحياء مدينة الجوبة، بقول لك في جروب كده في جروب كده في جروب كده. كده ونس الأمون as a young reporter to UNICEF ونس من جو راديو.
أوكي. رسالة أنا برسول لعيال بارناك الباسو مانا. كده نسيبه حياة نيجاس. حياة أبو ناس باسرة بانجي، حياة أبو ناس باسرة آيس، حياة أبو ناس بيجرو كوكين، حاجات دي بطال. كانت أمباسو مانا ده صوت واي من زميل لكون من يونيسيف يانغ ريبورتر. أنا بكين متانغالي كيتا كون سيب حاجات دي كينا سرا في مدرسة دي حاجة مهم في حياة الناس. كانت دي تلا زول نسيا في حياتك كده تعرف في مدرسة تبيجين زول ناجا في حياتك. لكن كانت بيستمر بحياة نيجازي itole bigeni zol ne sia fe hayataki ne hayataki ma fi le besta be yamutu so haja la bor rangali keta ko rafe madrasa nan madrasa dia muhim shedid fi hayata insan.
Yes, thank you so much, Thomas Luala. Meredith.
Yes.
My question is very clear. Why do you think education is important in our context in South Sudan?
Well, education is very important because it helps us achieve our goals. First of all, imagine like the street children, those who have no access to go to school. Imagine a mother letting a child die because she cannot read the prescription on the medicine bottle. Imagine a farmer losing his ancestral land just because he cannot read the legal documents. So with education, you can aim to achieve a lot of great things in your life. It can help you boost your self-confidence, and also you get to learn a lot of things and you get to achieve everything that you want, and also you get a lot of opportunities. For example, if it wasn't because of education, a lot of things wouldn't be happening, because with education you can aim to achieve whatever you want to do. For example, as we are here today, we are here to encourage everyone to go back to school, because only through education can we fight poverty. It is the strongest weapon ever to fight poverty. And in order to get out from the dire economic situation that we are in, we only need to be educated. And through education can we be able to improve ourselves, our country at large, our continent, and the world at large.
Yes, that is a good message there. And yet, as UNICEF Young Reporters, you mainly interact with some of the children in your community. So what are some of the challenges or the obstacles facing children and access, to access learning?
Thank you once again. There are a lot of challenges children face, and access to learning. Especially when you visit around the country, Central Equatoria, leave about other states because I have never been there. You find that people really have the interest to learn, but due to lack of funds, they can't learn. Number two, you find children with disabilities that cannot allow them go to school and learn. And other challenge people really face in going to school is lack of financial support. As we know, our country is too economically struggling, and that is hard for some parents. There are high unemployment rates in South Sudan as I speak to you now. So most of the parents are unemployed. Most of people are just at home. There is no way to go to school because they have nothing in hand. They have no cash in hand. And other challenge children face is lack of access to education. You may see in the government schools, really you send your child to school, but at the end of the day, your child learns nothing. And if you go to study, you find like teachers are not in school in time, lessons are not in time, making private schools overtake the government schools. But according to research in other countries, you find out that the public schools are the ones that are more equipped, are more better than private schools. But coming to South Sudan, it's a very big opposite. So these are some of the challenges people really face, children out there face in going to school. In addition, we also have nutrition. That is one of the sustainable goals, zero hunger, and it would be good if really South Sudan fights it. Because I go to school, I have nothing to eat. My brain would not function. Yeah. How would I learn something and then I have nothing in the stomach? It never works, leading to high rates of ulcers, leading to other forms of sicknesses, really affecting children towards education, making it hard for them. This is what I can add to that.
Yes, Luala, the same question to you.
Okay, one of the challenges that children mainly face in South Sudan is balancing of their work between extracurricular activities and schoolwork. You can see most of the students, they doesn't focus on the schoolwork. They just focus on extracurricular activities. Then at the end of the day, you will find yourself that you have failed, and you will, they will not allow to repeat the class. So like this, you will find that their parents will force them to refuse to repeat the class, but they will not allow. So at the end of the day, they will drop out of school. Secondly, it's about bad advices. Some of your friends outside there, they will say to you that school is not important. They will keep on telling you that you can see someone, Mr. So-and-so, he did not go to school, but he's a president. So like this, you will hear what they are telling you. Then at the end of the day, you will drop out of the school. Yeah, you will drop out of the school, and so like this, you will find that you are not at school. So this is because of the bad advices from your colleagues. So we need not to hear to the bad advices from our friends and colleagues. We need to focus on one thing. If they don't want the school, we are the one to encourage them, not someone from somewhere to come and encourage them. This is one of the challenges students mainly face. So one of the challenges that students face is like lack of resources. As you can see now, the issue of the school fees, it is now going high. Some of the schools are their school fees is now 1 million and something. Then how do you expect my father or my parents are not working? So how do you expect me, my parents, to pay for me the school fees while they are not working? 1 million something. I don't know how in the nearest future, how do you think schools are going, their school fees are going to be? I think we are going to move with wheelbarrow full of money to pay a school fees of just one child. Yeah.
Yes. The same to you, Adut.
Yeah, just as Thomas and Anget said, poverty is one of the main things that prevents children from going to school. Imagine the 2.8 million children who are out of school. It's not that they don't want to go to school, but it's because most of their parents don't have money to send them to school. If they get the little money that they get from their salary or their daily work, they make sure that they feed the family first. So they don't see education as something that they will waste money and stuff and send their children to school and remain back home and stuff. And also when children or those who get access to go to schools, maybe the government schools, sometimes they find it hard there to learn, because you may find in a class because you find that the school maybe is free, just as the government had introduced the free education program way back in 2023. So if they go to those schools, the government schools, they find that the schools are too congested. In a classroom that is supposed to contain 50 people, 50 students, maybe you find about 150, which becomes way too congested. And also the teachers, sometimes you find that the teachers are not qualified, and the level of their skills is not up to how they are going to teach the students. So it's a very big challenge. You find that most kids drop out of school. Some of them join gang groups, as Thomas said, and also drug abuse and peer pressure. These are main things that prevent children from going back to school.
Yes. Let us go to the social media. We have some good questions there to all of you. There's a message from Al Wanderska Silva. He said, good morning, I'm watching you live from Bogema University. My question is that, what can the government do to make school accessible to all children in South Sudan?
Okay.
Yes, Hangep.
To answer that question, the government should put actions on people's thoughts, ideas, and suggestions, because nothing comes alive without actions put in. So the government should enforce laws on what was released in 2023 regarding the free education. They should really work on that and make sure the education is quality, not like any other education, or not like how people are suffering to access quality education in public schools. They should ensure that they make education attractive in the schools, engage the students into competitions, awarding their talents in whatever they do, maybe debates, Olympics, football, or anything. That's what I can add as a UNICEF Young Reporter.
Yes.
Okay, as my colleague said before, the government should make access to free education. As before, the president has declared that there will be a free school for each and every child. But I can see now, people are now paying school fees. So we need access to free education. And we need quality of education, not quantity. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, what I would like to say is that most students or most children outside there, especially in the rural areas, do not get access to go to school. So I encourage the government to build more schools in the rural areas and make sure that each and every child, especially the girl child, has the access to go to school, because you find in most communities, girls are not sent to school just because they are girls. People think that it's a waste of resources, but that's not true. What boys can do, girls can do even better. When you educate a child, especially the girl child, you educate a nation. So I encourage the government to build more schools in the rural areas and make sure that they have access to go to school, all the scholastic materials, and make sure that education is free.
Yes. The other question here from Gordon Salah. It says, good morning from Yambio Town, and thanks for the program this morning. And what is the message to those who want to join a school, but there is no access to a school?
Okay.
Yes.
When you want to join school and there is no access to school, there are a lot of initiatives coming up in South Sudan. There are a good number of organizations that are looking forward to equal education. So you should reach out organizations, draft a proposal or a quotation of your school, go and express yourself to them. I'm sure they will give a helping hand. We have the UNICEF that deals with education for children. We have the Chagai Foundation that deals with female empowerment. They also deal with sponsorship. So you should just get in touch with NGOs that are having objectives of making sure that citizens are educated in the country. Draft your proposal, talk to them. They would give you a good feedback. I am quite sure about that.
Yes, Luala.
Question.
The question is, there is some, your age mate, they want to join a school, but there is no access there. Financially, they don't have anything.
Okay.
What is advice to them?
Okay. In order to get access to education, one hand cannot do something. So if we join our hands, if they go to their parents, their relatives, I think they can support him and go to school. Yeah.
Adut.
Well, the message to those who have no access to go to school is not their fault, because you find that the same people who have no access to go to school are the same people who are so eager to learn. So I'll tell them that they should just wait. And also this message should go to the organizations and the government at large. They are the ones who should encourage those people to go to school. They should make sure that, especially the Ministry of Education, they should ensure that all children get access to go to school, because you find that sometimes those children, they really want to go to school, but they have no way to go to school. So we should help them and take them to school.
Yes. لكل مستمع في كل مكان بنتكلم عن موضوع بتاع حملة بتاع رجعة للمدرسة اللي هو بيسموه حملة بتاع back to school campaign. الهدف منه عشان نرفع الوعي ما بين الناس، هم يعرفوا أهمية بتاع التعليم، خاصة الشباب الصغار والبرضو الناس الصغار، عشان أسر بتاعهم يدوا أولوية للتعليم وهم يمشوا المدارس في السنة الجديدة بتاع 2025 2026. There is some of the questions here, and yet can you share with us your stories that can promote solution and help improve education access in the country?
Pardon?
Can you share with us stories that can promote solutions and help improve education access in the country?
All right, to improve the education access in South Sudan, we need visibility on the NGOs that deal with empowering children through education. Because right now, I believe there are a good number of non-governmental organizations that focus on education, but they lack visibility. A lot of citizens don't know about it. So they should work on their visibility, make sure they post it on social media platforms, even put it on the street side like poster or even on a billboard, such that citizens know that there are organizations that got their back, such that they know that they really have people who are having their voices outside as citizens.
Yes.
Okay, I think one of the solutions that the government can do is they should build more schools in the rural areas, because I can see now there are no many schools in the rural areas, because I can see children are coming from the rural side to the urban cities just for the sake of education. So I'm asking the government to build more schools so that it will facilitate easy movement of the children to schools.
Yes, I do.
Well, one of the ways that can help easy access to education, for example, as Lowala said, the rural areas, especially those affected by flooding, states like Jonglei State, Unity, and Upper Nile, children there they used to go to school actually, but due to flooding, they no longer have access to go to school. So the government should really help them, maybe build schools in highlands so that they could be able to go to school, and also help them in their suffering, because the floods are really affecting them. So that's one of the ways that can help in the access to go back to school.
Let us pick some calls. Hello, radio. Yes, hello, good morning. Yes, do call us on 0911-986-986, 0922-986-986. ده طوال بيجيبك داخل استديوهات تاعت راديو في مدينة جوبا، ونسمع منك سؤالك لشبابنا الصغار، هم صحفيين صغار شغالين تبع يونيسيف، وهم برسوا الرسائل بتاعت انه كيف يكون في تعليم ما بين الشباب الصغار. هلو راديو.
هلو مرحبا.
صباح الخير.
صباح النور حارس الحواري مع ضيوفك الشباب الصغار.
نعم.
هم يعني حديثهم ده كان كلام في محل بتاعهم. هم بيعمل هذا encourage young children to school. It's a good important طبعا، وحاجة ده تمام جدا خالص.
نعم.
لكن سؤالهم هم هسه على السودان في مشكلة بتاعت اللي هو vulnerable أسر. يعني ما قادر إنه يقدر يتعامل، يقدر يشجع الأطفال بتاعهم عشان يقرأوا، لأنه ما عندهم حاجة تقدر يدفعوا للأطفال دول عشان يمشوا يقرأوا. اثنين، ارتفاع بتاع الرسوم بتاعت التعليم في المدارس. ثلاثة، موضوع بتاع الأكل، يعني المفروض اليونيسيف يتعلم يعمل وجبة بتاعت الفطور للأطفال عشان يقدر يشجعهم. يعني إذا كان ممكن أسهل ثم معنا الطفل لازم يلقى في الشوارع ده مشكلة الأكل، ما كانوا بياكلوه زي ما قال الولد الصغير إنه في يعني بيمشوا يشتغلوا، بيمشوا يقروا
نعم،
يشتغلوا في السوق. ليه؟ لأنه ما في حاجة بياكلوا، في البيت ما في حاجة بياكلوا. فده هم رايهم شنو في المنظمة، هم زي الصاحب بتاعت المنظمة يونيسيف ده، رايهم شنو يقول يضغط المنظمة إنه يجدوا وجبة الفطور.
شكرا.
الأطفال في المدارس.
شكرا جزيلا لك. نعم، شكرا جزيلا لك فرانكو سيد باب. هلا راديو.
هذا هواري.
صباح النور. صوتك تحت شديد.
سلام لكم الاستديو والضيوف بتاعك كمان.
تفضل.
ضيوفنا في الاستديو.
تفضل.
معكم عايزك.
نعم.
أنا برضه الحل يعني بالنسبة للتعليم لنا في جنوب السودان، إذا كان الحكومة العام المضت أعلن عن كويس؟
نعم.
وحاكم ولاية البلدية أعلن برضه فريق الكيشن هو حيكون بكل المقام. لكن أنا كنت قدمت اختيار أنا كمواطن جنوبي في جنوب السودان، أنا بشوف إنه الفريق الكيشن ده ما بيتعلم. أنا بس بطلب من الحكومة كان يبني المدارس بكفاءة كويس، حتى الولايات كله يكون ولاية عنده ما يقارب 5 ل 6 داخليات أساس وثانوي كويس.
نعم.
أنا بشوف كان بيكون في تجديد شوية حتى من المجتمعات، يعني كل زول حتى لو زي الولايات ما قاعد تدفع قروش، لكن بيكون أنت عندك زراعة، بيكون عندك الكريم، يمكن فول، حتى الغنماية بتاعك حسب المنطقة اللي فيه هناك. إدارة مجلس العباد هم بيقعدوا كويس تدير نسبة كده عشان جناك أو ولدك أو بنتك يخش المدرسة كويس، حتى المواد التموينية اللي أنت بتجيبهم جزء منهم هم حيستفيدوا في الطعام، ولا حتى المعلمين، وحتى ممكن الباقي بيدفع لبرا عشان هو يقدر يستفيدوا الاحتياجات الخاصة التعليم. ده إخوانا بيكون في الشارع.
شكرا جزيلا لك. شكرا جزيلا لك. The second question is a comment about how the government can improve the government schools all over the country through what you guys mentioned earlier. Is about how to feed the students, the peoples, and how to give them the access to educations. And it's a matter of the thinking that can lead to a better life for our kids in terms of schooling. The first question is your role as young reporters of UNICEF, how to engage between the two, between UNICEF and the other side of the government and the schools, how the boss can play their roles to improve the access to education for our young kids in this country. So the first one is a question about your role, three of you, the way you're discussing your things with UNICEF, also the way you're visiting different schools, also like this campaign now. This is a big role that you people you play. This is the first question. You can answer that. Do you have any role that to play between the schools and UNICEF, and how UNICEF can improve? I'm sure there is a plan there, but he's asking about the extra planning. How can that be a positive, has a positive effect in terms of we engage, we enroll more kids, because now we're talking about 2.8 million children that are out of the schools. Let me start with Zanget. Yes.
All right. How we are going to play a middleman role between the children,
yes,
and then the government.
Yes.
As UNICEF Young Reporters, my co-Thomas Lowell mentioned earlier, we write blog stories, we do poetry, we post them on social media platforms. So one of our agendas as the UNICEF Young Reporters this year is to have a partnership with the Ministry of Education, such that we listen the voices of the young ones and then we amplify them through the ministry. We write our proposals, we write our thoughts to the Ministry of Education, how things are running according to our perspective and where they should be improved on, and then forward it to the Ministry of Education to do their role.
Yes.
This is one of the ways.
Okay, one of the role we as young reporters we do is we do peer-to-peer discussion. We go to schools, we tell them about the importance of education. Like I think like next week we shall be going to the schools and we shall be telling them about the importance of education. We shall be going to encourage them not to drop out of school. This is how we do.
Adut.
Well, as UNICEF Young Reporters, we are like young role models to kids outside there, because when they see how education is beneficial and how it actually helps us in many ways, we as the UNICEF Young Reporter, as Thomas and Angel say, that we have a lot of activities that we do, like the blog stories and especially this one now, the radio talk show. We also encourage students to go to school, whereby we go to their schools, as Thomas said. These are some of the activities that we actually do, and in order to help those children the 2.8 million children who are out of school to be able to get more access to go back to school. There are a lot of things, especially a lot of things that they face, and as we speak, we are their voices outside there. There are a lot of challenges that they face, but whenever we speak out their challenges, somebody or even the government will be able to do something and be able to help those children.
Yes. Hello, Radio. Yes, hello, good morning. Yes, hello. Yes, good morning.
Hello?
Yes. Sabah al-khair. Yes, do call us on 0911-986-986 or 0922-986-986, or you can text us on 0913-986-986. And yet, there is a question here. How can the young generation be inspiring either by their families or classmates to return to school and contribute to overcoming any challenges that they might be facing?
Okay, before I answer that question, I want to add something to what my colleague Adut said.
Yes.
On the government's enforcement towards education. You know, when we talk about the word education, it's a very, very broad word that not only deals with going to school, having a pen and a book, listening to a teacher, but education is all about acquiring knowledge from everywhere at any stage. So if it's hard to make sure that 2.8 million is a very huge number, to make sure that all of them go to school, I'm sure it's going to take some good number of time. So what the government should do, they should organize workshops. They should organize workshops that will deal with training children on specific topics, and also they should introduce the technique lessons, such as in other countries or Kenya or Uganda. We have a lesson such that happen in South Sudan in Don Bosco. We need more of that. You know, they are tailoring. If you want to become a nurse, you go for first aid. Very different courses. They should introduce such a thing, because those who are not able to go to school will be able to acquire courses and become who they want to through that process. Because I know it's hard to make sure that 2.8 million goes to school. So at least they should make sure that they organize workshops. They make sure they open places such as Don Bosco where people are to go and do specific type of courses.
Yes. Hello, Radio. Hello. Yes, the same question. Let me go to Luala and Adut.
Yes.
You know, the inspiration of the young generation, you know, today by their families or classmates to return to schools and contribute to overcoming any challenges that they might be facing.
The younger generation can be inspired by their families or their classmates, especially, for example, take a look at a family whereby the father or the mother is not educated. So they begin telling their children that education is actually important, because for them, they did not get access to go to school way back at their time. But now that they have the resources and everything, they are eager to send their children to school, because they believe that education is something that will help them, alleviate them from their lives of poverty. Because some of them begin regretting and be like, if I had gone to school, I'll be working in somewhere big now, maybe in one of the government official, or being a government official, being a doctor, an engineer, a lawyer, and we wouldn't be able to live in this poverty. So it will encourage them to go to school and send their children to school, so that they learn and become better people later in the future.
Yes. Luala.
I think they need to be encouraged to go back to school, so they need to be told about the importance of education, because failure is also part of success, because every setback is a setup for a comeback, because it is never too late to start again. So we need to encourage them to go back to school.
You say failure is a success?
Yeah, failure is part of success.
Okay. Hello, Radio. Wow, there is a lot of callers are calling, but it seems like we have some technical issues with our lines. لكل مستمع في كل مكان بنتكلم عن حملة بتاعت وجع للمدرسة اللي هو بدأ الليلة حسب ما سمينا من أنيتا كير دينغ وتوماس لوالا وأدوت ميري. لكن خلينا نشيل بعض المكالمات. هلو يا راديو.
الو
صباح الخير.
صباح النور. صباح النور يا حواري.
نعم تفضل.
مع جيمس جوا.
نعم.
كانوا مدود أمريكا ده يا برادا. يلا معزومة لطيفة داخل الإذاعة أي راديو. كانوا تعليم لو في بلد تمام.
جيمس ديل شباب صغار كده هم
أصله.
نعم.
وأساسا لو إذا ما علمت جنا بدنا. إذا فايدة تجي سنو جارو بدنا وده ولا دو ولا سنو. عشان كده أنا بالناس اللي بدنا لازم كلية كل في المدارس. لكن بس حاجة في واحد على أساس كده أبوات عيال. يعني مدارس بقى قالي بشركة ثانية على عجيب. أبوات يحاول لكن الوادي الاقتصادي طبعا يلا عيال بدنا تانيين زاروا بقى ما بيفهم وما عارف عليه ده بكرة ده فايدة تو بكرة. عشان كده أنا بكلم شكرا لعيال ده للأسف كده في الفيديو وأنا دايرين تانيين البارة ده الدرس دور بسامبرا مدرسة تعليم ده ممكن كربوا فرصة دومون لأنه بكرة ده بكرة بدوم ولو إذا علمت بلد لو ناس كله بقى متعلمين لو كان ما جاي شغل في حكومة ولا ما يشغل في مؤسسة ثانية لكن هو بيكون في مجتمع هو بيكون زول يعني متعلم وبيعرف يعمل في شنو كان حجر البطال ده هو ما بيقدر يعمله عشان كده أمية كثير في بلد بتاعنا ده تجد مشاكل يا كثير.
نعم.
لكن لو تعلم أنا كنت تعلم في بلد ده تمام أنا أكيد مشاكل كله يعني برجع واي حاجة الناس كله بيجيني يعني بلد بيجيني بسلام لأنه على أنا زول كان متعلم أنا ما بيرودوا مشاكل حاجة اللي بيجيبوا أنا جي غنمايا ولا جي بقرة ده أنا ما بيرودوا.
نعم.
لكن زول الغير متعلم يا بيرودوا كلام ده وبيرودوا حروبات. عشان كده أنا بالناس حكومة بتاعنا كان حكومة اتحادي ولا حكومة ولاية ولا تفاهمات كله إن دارين كلهم لازم يكونوا وجودهم مليان عشان يكونوا تعليم ده أول حاجة عشان بلد بيمشي تمام بدون تعليم بلد ما بيمشي تمام لأنه تجد بلاد تانيين كثير في العالم ممكن كويسين قاعدين بدون مشاكل لأنه تعليم دي ممكن تعليم أول حاجة نمرتين تجد إذا متعلم أو يعني أو ريزونبل يعني ما زول بس هو عمل حاجات ما عنده فايدة. عشان كده أنا بالناس الرجال بتاعنا لازم كل مرجع مدرسة وكمان وزارة التربية ولو عملوا كمان مراجعة لمدارس الكاسة مدينة جوا مدارس كثير الكاسة لكنهم بس قاينوا لفلوس لكنهم ما قاينوا لتعليم.
نعم.
بيسأل من كلهم لازم يساعدوا عيال كلهم ما عنده فلوس لكن أما نيجي كلها أستاذ هو صعب يعني يمكن تمام ياو طبعا بيسلوب سيدنا يسوع المسيح يعني بقدروا ما تعينوا فلوس وانا داير يال بتاعنا لازم يرجع لمدرسة.
شكرا لك كثير جيمس. شكرا لك كثير. Yes, that was James. There is, I think, is a common, about between education as a tool for you to succeed in your life, and also education as a tool for you to develop your country. Hello, radio. Hello. Hello, radio.
الو الحاج هواري صباح الخير.
صباح النور.
معك اكتيفيست بنجامين
تفضل.
انا داير نشكر يال بتاع في الاستديو ده.
نعم.
عايز اقول لهم بانه كلمات لما قالوا تسجيل الاخوان بتوعهم الاخوات بتوعهم يرجعوا في المدارس حتى دروبينج اوت في السكول الكلام ده كويس لكن انا بشجعهم كده هم راموا لللوبينج هم زي جا من يونيسيف او هم فولونتيرز في يونيسيف كده هم عملوا لوبينج مع وزاره التعليم العام مع اود دينغ لانه المدارس نعم نكست ويك مدارس ماشي يفتح لكن المدرسه ما انه تمشي تقعد الشجره ولا تقعد في برندا وانت ما عندك قروش عشان تدفع المدرسه الكلام اللي قال تعليم مجانيا ده كلام سياسيا ساكت. اثنين السنه كامله هسه ماشي لسنتين السنه كامله انتهت ودي بقى شهر 2 جاي ما واحد مو دي لابو حتى يال ديل مو بيدفع قروش كيف الليفل بتاع فاميليز في ساوث سودان از نوت وان ناس السياسيين ديل ناس الكبارين فوق ديل يالتهم من كل قاعده في ابرود اي نو ذم انا كنت في 11 دوله انا بعرف معناه ده كله يال بتاع ده يقرا يا المساكين اللي بيقرا في جوبا هنا سو هسي كده يال ده يعني في السيرة ده كده يعملوا لوبينج مع ودين ويعملوا لوبينج مع حكومه حتى مع الرئيس عشان انه يدفع ما هي للناس انه يدفع ما هي انا بقدر شو يال تعرف مدرسه هسه انا اي ديسايد شو يال ده برا من هنا انا وديمون في بلد ولا ديمون في مالتان لانه كان ممكن في جيبه بيخرب ساكت بيت لا بيقعد ناقص في الشارع بتلاقي حاجه.
نعم.
كده انا قاعد اشتغل بعينه كده مناول لوبينج مع الناس الكبار فوق ده. المشكله بتاعتنا الحكومه البلد الناجيه ليه جنوب السودان فيه فوضى كتير ليه فيه ناقص في الشارع لانه ما في good system of the education in South Sudan.
شكرا جزيلا لك اكتيفيست بنجامين. هلو يا راديو.
هلو يا راديو.
صباح الخير.
Martin, Dr. Dominic in the room.
Dr. Dominic?
Yes.
You're welcome.
Yeah, always I follow education.
Do you have a direct question, Dr. Dominic?
Huh?
Do you have a question or you want to comment?
I have a question.
Okay, please. Go ahead.
Yeah, people are talking about education.
Yes.
How can you expect child to perform very nice? Why a teacher is not happy to teach a skill which can make your child to be very nice? That is one. Because if a teacher has a good experience, how is he going to share with the children? Why he is thinking about his family, what to eat today, what to do today. That's the one. School fees with the parents. Government school is not common. But how are they going to perform? They lack education. And education is before the colonization, the shock. But how people are expecting people to understand why the teachers who are going to train the children are not welfare, are not happy, are not comfortable. Say the Minister of Education think of this one. They are starting singing about education, They know, but how the teachers are going to manage those children without money, without house, without anything. People, let us say the things which can help the families.
Thank you.
When you are eating, you are drinking, you are singing.
Thank you, Dr. Benjamin.
Let's stop.
Thank you, Dr. Dominic. Thank you. The last one. Hello, radio. Hello. Yes. Anget, Loala, and Adut. I think all of you guys, you had, there is some questions and some of them are comments. And let me add this one and then we can move on. Yoga Amuza. He said, good morning, iRadio, and the listeners said, this is a great initiative in helping the nation grow, respect, helping the nation to grow. Respective ministry should listen and pack the ideas. Is a comment. Okay.
Sure.
I wanted to give your reaction on all these comments, and plus there is some questions. Let me start with you.
All right. Thank you so much.
The most important one is, you know, they're looking at you like you're something big.
Okay.
To link up, you know, the different sectors together to get good education for these 2.8 million children those who are out of school. Yes.
Thank you so much. As a human being who grew up with a passion for activism and speaking to others, I am sure that together with the UNICEF Young Reporters and the UNICEF administration, we shall try our best to achieve our agenda of reaching to the National Ministry of Education this year to collaborate and make sure at least if we don't reach 50% of the 2.8 million, we would reach some good percentage and make sure they're enrolled into school and they're educated.
Yes.
This is what I can add.
Luala.
Yeah. Pardon, the questions?
I wanted to comment or, you know, just to react on what the listeners, you know, have been asking.
Okay, indeed it was really...
They look at you guys like you are ambassadors to link between the different sectors and partners. Now you're young reporters of UNICEF, and UNICEF is a partner of the government to do something that, you know, to help these 2.8 million children that are out of schools.
I think it is really a very great comment. I think I would like to encourage him. I would like to encourage him to keep on encouraging the children outside there so that they will get access to education. Because I think by the grace of God, I think we shall meet the Minister of Education in order to comment out what are the challenges that children are facing in which the government cannot reach out to them.
Yes, I do.
Well, as UNICEF Young Reporters, we shall continue to be advocates of education and continue to create more awareness so that the government actually knows that there are a lot of children outside there who are not able to go to school. And through this creating of awareness, the government will be able to build more schools, to be able to enroll those children to go to school, build more schools and train more teachers so that they could teach those children.
Yes. For all of you, because of the time, what kind of reforms would you want to see to make learning better and attractive to learners in the country? Anyet?
One, they should organize Olympics with the awarding of talents. Because we believe that some people have disabilities to education or picking subjects in school. They cannot learn very well, but they have specific talents which are God-given. So they should ensure that the country organizes Olympics, maybe South Sudan Olympics, where people interact from states and different schools showcasing their talents in terms of public speaking, debates, football, athletes, or anything. And after that, they get awarded. So now me who is at home, I'll be like, oh, I'm sure I have a talent as well. I need to go to school such that I get awarded as so and so. They should look for ways of making education really attractive in South Sudan by recognizing the children's potentials. When you're good in certain area, they give you motivations, encouragements, and awards such that you aim higher and to do more than this. When you aim higher, you're inspiring a lot that are also coming. So the government should make sure they should enforce also the type of a Don Bosco courses, maybe open an institution that will deal with educating people who are inspiring to be nurses, maybe first aid courses, those ones who are inspiring to be technicians, a little bit of their aspirations, giving them small knowledge, and I'm sure that would also contribute to the development of South Sudan as a country.
Yes, Luala.
Okay, the reform that I would like to see is teachers training, because I, as a child, am now seeing that a person who just complete a senior 4, you will just see after some years that he's now a teacher without even getting a certificate without even having a degree of education. So I need the government to work on that, because it is really not fair for a person just to be who's just sat for South Sudan certificate of secondary education and he's now a teacher. It is really not fair.
Yes.
2, I want to also the issue of early child marriage should be stopped, because I can see now mostly some of the girls who drop out of school is due to early child marriage. I think the government need to enact some most powerful laws which someone can break that law, it can lead to prison or something of that kind.
Well, one of the reform that I would like to see, especially in secondary schools, is, education tends to get boring, especially in secondary schools, because such equipments, what I mean by equipments such as laboratories, maybe labs, computer labs and stuff, in secondary schools, and especially for the science students, maybe you find that learning tends to become boring. So the government should do something and maybe build laboratories and help so that students will be able to do practicals. In that way, they will not only be future doctors, but they will be future doctors with full potential and know what they are actually doing.
And then
yes.
Allow me add a little on what Adud said on my personal experience. I remember I started my education in Uganda and I never used to like school. Me and my younger brother, I never used to like school. But when we hear that tomorrow is swimming day at school, you find us awake from 1 a.m. We really want to get prepared and go to school.
Because of swimming.
Because of the swimming day. Yes. And when you realize that we are going for a school trip, I don't sleep that night. I have to make sure I am ready because there is a school trip. So we should really make education interactive.
That's good. My last question to you, what is your message to the learners, dropped out parents and guardians on the importance of sending their children back to school? Less than 10 seconds. Yes.
Okay, for the dropouts, we should not do what others do. We should do what we say. What I mean by that, we have the great man who is Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk. Most of them did not go to school and they are becoming a reason or a role model to others who are dropping out. I had a friend, I asked him, why not studying? He said, my role model dropped out and he made it a life. So, what I can add to that, I am sure that Elon Musk or Mark Zuckerberg is educated. Though he did not go to school, but he's educated.
Yes.
Education is about having knowledge. So they should not do what others do, but they should do what they say. They should get informed, educated, and then act according to their role models.
Yes, Luala.
Okay,
Less
my
than 10
final
seconds.
message is education is the foundation upon we build our future. By investing in education, we invest in a brighter tomorrow.
Adut.
Well, I would like to end by saying that education is the key to the new global economy, from the primary level up to lifelong learning education. We should all go to school because we as students, we are the future of South Sudan and the world at large.
There is a good message I wanted to take it with you from one of the senior teachers. I know him personally. Ben Tombe Colombano Lado. Can we make education attractive for those kids? What's the role of the government policy towards public schools? To have quality education, you need to support. There is nothing called free education. You get the message?
We did not get the message.
He's one of the senior teachers. He says, can we make education attractive for those kids? What the role of the government policy towards public schools? To have quality education in South Sudan, you need to support. There is nothing called free education. That means you don't have free educations. And through your support as young reporters of UNICEF, I'm sure you guys, you're going to make some change there.
On iRadio.
What I can tell you, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. نيابة عن زملائي تشارلز سويتي وعوان موسس أنا كنت معكم الهادي حواري وبرضو أنا بقول شكرا لأنيت كير دين وتوماس لوالا وأدوت ميري هما من الصحفيين الصغار بتاعت يونيسيف كانوا معنا في الاستديو ليوم الليلة في تدشين بتاع حملة بتاعت رجع لسكول لمدارس أو بيسموه اسمه باك تو سكول كامبين. إلى هنا نقابلكم بكرة في يوم جديد وتاريخ جديد. مع السلامة. بعد شوية هتسمعوا لساوند تراك ما ديكو دي أندرو. كونوا معنا.